Hey everyone, it's Alex with GME Supply, and I'm here with Ben Bowman from Safety LMS. And in this video, we're just going to do a quick Q&A to get an update from what's new with Safety LMS and training in the at-heights industries. So welcome, Ben. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you.
We'll go ahead and get things started. So over the last few years, there's been a big focus on standardizing training across the industry to make sure that regardless of who you're working for, that safety training is progressing and is consistent across the board. So one big group that's helping push this forward is the NWSA. Can you tell us about NWSA and what it is and who needs it?
Sure. So yeah, the NWSA have done a great job of forming standardized tests. So it's a little bit different than the normal climber rescue or rigging training that you're used to kind of calling up Safety LMS and getting help for. It's a standardized exam on how to do the work and how to do it the right way. So it's a two-part exam. The first part is a written portion, which you go through the PSI Testing Location. And then the second portion is a practical evaluation portion, which you can do through companies like us or any other NWSA evaluator that's in the US. And both of those exams are capped at like 2 hours, and you come through and you go through a bunch of different questions along the way. Though the NWSA certifications are mandated by the T-Mobiles and the AT&Ts of the world, and then they're enforced by companies like American Tower or Crown that you'll be working for in the field. So those are the companies who are enforcing them on a day-to-day basis. And for an example, SBA Communications, February 2021, you're going to have a 25% minimum amount of climbers per job site certified as an NWSA technician.
Sure. And you mentioned the PSI Training Center. What is that, and how can someone find where they can go to get those tests done?
Sure. So we'll drop a link at the end of this video, but we've put together a quick video that kind of explains it all, and you go through the NWSA website to find out. But a PSI Testing Location is a location, they're all across the US, so there's thousands of them around. You type in your zip code, you find the nearest one. There's normally 20, 30 miles away. And you go through like a metal detector, you take everything out of your pockets, you sit down, you do the exam, and then you leave. So very structured. It's kind of something that now that more people are doing school from home, kids might experience this when they come to their final exams, that's where you'll go to take it because it can be a proctored exam there.
Gotcha. Okay. So for a climber to get NWSA certification, they have the formal exam, but there are some pretty specific tasks that they have to complete for that test, and a lot of them might seem pretty basic, but there's a certain way that they have to be done to pass that practical exam, right? So without some prep work going into the course, a climber might be caught off guard by the entire process. So what is this prep course that you have, and how does that help the climber get through the exam?
Sure. So yeah, exactly how you said, kind of the activities that you do through those NWSA exams are pretty straightforward. Anyone who's had 6 months to a year or more of experience in the field, it's going to be pretty easy to pass these types of things. Install an antenna, make sure it's at the right level, and then weatherproofing, very, very basic stuff. But what we see is when people end up failing the exams is they'll come to us and they'll turn up with their harness over their shoulder and they'll go, "Hey, I got told to be here at 9 o'clock. Like, why am I here?" Well, those guys have very little chance because it's not anything that they've done before. So they get there and it takes them half hour to an hour to kind of acclimatize to what's going on. And that's what our NWSA prep course does, is that it sits them down, it runs them through, hey, here's what you're going to expect when you're going into the PSI testing location, and then here's what to expect when you get to the practical exams on the day, so that they're not looking like a deer in headlights, when they're starting it. And it gives them the best chance to kind of move forward and know what they're going to expect.
And that's all an online course that they can take to get prepped for the actual day of the exam?
Yeah, that's correct. It's about 3 hours. It's online. I would recommend, most people taking it beforehand, because if you fail the practical exam or the written exam, you have to pay for it again. So pay a little bit more up front and get rid of that risk.
Sure. And then there are some other avenues for those just getting into the industry that have started programs to help standardized safety in the telecom realm, which Safety LMS is partnered with, right?
Yeah, so recently we partnered with the Learning Alliance Corporation. So they're based out of Tampa. and they've done a great job. When they're brand new to the industry, and when they came in, they had heard of us through a few different people, so they reached out. We kind of took them under our wing and said, hey, here's what's different about the telecom industry, and here's what's kind of the same as any other construction industry. And they're working through the use of grants to be able to help pay for training for new guys coming into the industry, mainly veterans, but some normal civilians as well. And yeah, they're bringing them in. We're partnered with them, so they're using all Safety LMS curriculum, so it's recognized by the industry. And then when they leave to go to another company, because it's a placement program as well, they help them get placement within a company. When they do that, their certification goes with them. So although it's a great idea to have them retrain and know kind of where they stand as a quality level, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can skip it and maybe give them a refresher or an evaluation versus a full training again.
Cool. And then much like the Learning Alliance, you also partner with a few other schools that are doing a similar thing. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So we've got a great relationship with Warriors for Wireless, who have been around for years. And they've expanded recently back into Aiken Technical College. They are out of College Station as well in Texas for Texas A&M. So we work with those guys. It's a 2-week program there. So they go through everything from authorized climber, basic rigging, RF, capstan, kind of the basic training courses that you'll need to get into the industry. And the same thing, helping veterans get in, get work, and then get placed with a company. I believe that Warriors Wireless has a 95% placement rate at the end of the course. So if companies, you're looking for new guys who are well trained with a qualified education and have a good kind of stepping stone into the industry, I'd recommend reaching out to Warriors Wireless or Learning Alliance or Aiken Technical, any of those guys.
Awesome. So as we're filming this here towards the end of 2020, obviously the world is a little bit different. So you guys have done a lot to overcome the restrictions of COVID and everything else that's going on. So moving forward to make sure that everyone's getting trained safely and correctly, what kind of protocols are you guys doing? Yeah,
so real different. When COVID first hit, we kind of moved everything online and did what we could to get guys by. We created an online webinar, so a live webinar like we're talking here, but the guys were on the other end of the Zoom call. So we could still do the competent rigging training and some very basic competent climber training along the way, so that guys could still keep working, but also be safe at the same time, because at that point we had no idea what was going on. Still don't. So we're always looking to develop different online courses along the way. We're looking to bring 5G and small cell into our RF course, constantly trying to make different ways to make training easier and more available for people in the industry. Sprat rope access is the next thing to come, so that's a big one that we're looking to add in there. And then for classes that we're looking at now, we're pretty much back to full speed as far as in-person classes. You'll see our schedule, it's back filled up to 1 or 2 classes a week in different locations. But we're just doing some small things to make sure that everyone stays safe. So instead of having larger class sizes, we're capping it at 10 or 12 people, depending on the size of the classroom, so that people can stay socially distanced while they're in the classroom. And then we've also got Rescue Randy dolls or dummies in each of our classrooms. So if people don't feel comfortable being close to someone to be able to rescue, we've got a Rescue Randy there for him to be able to use instead. It's 160 pounds, and 160 pound of dead weight is very, very heavy. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. And if there's different ways that we can help people now, we're doing so to do that.
Awesome. Well, I guess everyone watching, how can they get in contact with you and learn more about Safety LMS? Yeah,
safetylms.com on the internet, or 512-710-5000 is our phone number. Or through the guys at GME, we're on their website too. So if you need anything, let us know and we'll see how we can help out.
All right. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.